Let's move on away from sports to the Daily Shapiro for Saturday, August 8th.
You can't do Daily Shapiro on Saturday.
Why?
It's disrespectful. He doesn't work Saturdays.
Meh. Trump trolls media.
He's a Jew.
I know.
Let him.
Trump trolls media for complaining about packed room with COVID guidelines. It's a peaceful protest.
That was hilarious.
I hadn't heard about
That
that.
was so awesome. I was like, they're like, the reporter's like, rah, about the COVID stuff. And he's like, well, it says right here on this thing, there's a specific exemption for political things and protest. And you could call it a political thing, but this is a peaceful protest. So
That's funny.
I was laughing.
Police. Rape suspect gets released from jail over COVID, allegedly murders his accuser. And then killed himself.
More than allegedly. No, he's not dead.
I thought he killed himself.
Oh, he's in the hospital.
Oh, he shot himself. Okay.
But no, those lawyers' rates just went up. Because the COVID thing happened, and they didn't even make an attempt to work with the prison. They just found a loophole to find a way to get their prisoner, their client released. So the only person who's really not the smart guy here is the judge who said yes instead of no. Because they had him locked up without bail for a reason. Because he posed a threat. So his lawyers went out and did what lawyers do, and it's their fucking job. And instead of the judge saying, no, you're out of your fucking minds, he said, yeah, it's cool if this alleged rapist goes out instead of getting COVID. And now there's a body with like 5 holes in its head. Congratulations. Judge, good luck sleeping at night.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes the process for becoming a judge should be a little bit more stringent.
Well,
maybe judges should
like
do some.
But my problem is that usually it's just a fucking lawyer who got tired of being a lawyer, so now they're a judge.
Judges should get some sort of cognitive testing and like take the bar every year just to keep themselves sharp.
Oh, well, I think judges shouldn't be limited to being lawyers. They should be be law enforcement, something like that, or just your average Joe. Because
well, if it was somebody other than a lawyer, then they would still need to learn all the law.
No, not really.
Wouldn't they?
No, they're judging. So they get the law right in front of them. This is the letter of the law. They read the law, all right? Okay. Does the state make the case that this has happened? The violation of this law has occurred. Does the defense make a compelling case that it did not occur? That doesn't require a lawyer. That requires somebody with reading and comprehension skills and the ability to listen to one side, listen to the other side, and make a call. And if there's a jury involved, the judge is really just there to make sure that the state stayed on top of it. So that, okay, objection, Your Honor, leading the witness, I'll allow it. Or not. Like, hey, yeah, you shouldn't lead the witness, or you shouldn't, badger the witness, that sort of thing. Because if you're sitting there and you see some douchebag being mean to this person on the stand, yeah, hey, wait a minute. How legal is this? You just let it fly until somebody objects.
Interesting.
You shouldn't. Being a judge requires intelligence. It doesn't require schooling.
Well, it does, but you're saying it shouldn't.
Yeah, it shouldn't. You should be able to get elected to the judgeship just by being an intelligent person.
Christians sidestep coronavirus restrictions by meeting in state-approved venues. I wonder what those venues are.
Oh, there's one that was beautiful. They held their church service in Walmart, and they were on there singing and all this shit. It was amazing.
Interesting.
That was great. I thought that was just epic. There's another one. They had a big church meeting in a casino because you could have up to you can have half capacity in a casino.
Wait, casinos are essential?
Yeah, you can have half the capacity of a casino. So if a casino could hold 1,000 people, you could have 500 people in there.
Is it all casinos or just Indian
But
casinos?
all the churches, all the casinos in say Nevada, right? Well, all the casinos could have 50% capacity, but churches could only have 30 or 50. 30 or 50. Didn't matter if the church was as big as damn cathedral or like a giant Colosseum church. One of them big ass churches.
Mega church.
Mega church. That's what the word is. Mega church. You could only have 30 or 50 people. So they took it to the Supreme Court, and that's when Justice Roberts proved that he's a fascist who doesn't actually understand the law, because they argued, hey, this casino, this Walmart can have 50% capacity, but this church cannot. And they said, well, we're not here to second guess the medical professionals, blah, blah, blah. And nah, bruh.
Your
The medical
job.
professionals say that building that holds 1,000 people can have 500 people in it, but this building over here that can hold 400 people can only have 30 people in it. Because apparently going to church, the people are claiming that if you go to church and you sing, you increase chances of COVID? No. I think not. So go to church with full capacity and just put signs out front, say Black Lives Matter, and just have church.
Trump says we are going a different way as coronavirus relief deal fails to materialize. I'm guessing this is about how he executively decided that they would extend unemployment, but for $400, not $600.
The 400, which was a compromise, because Dems wanted 6, Republicans wanted 2, so he straight up went 4.
Should have said
which is
$350.
Cool. But then he did the whole, we're going to waive the payroll taxes and the Social Security and the Medicare. We're going to waive those and forgive them, defer them, and then possibly forgive them later on down the road, and all that good stuff. And so the Dems were like, if he gets reelected, he's going to do away with Social Security, which I'd be down with. But he never said that. Oh, he's going to do away with Medicare. He never said that. But then they're dogging him on this, but then they don't realize in 2012, Obama did the exact same thing, and they called it a great victory for him during his election year.
Oh, everything Obama did was a great victory. Don't you remember?
The exact same thing. All these people that are against it now were straight up, even Nancy Pelosi took the whole Republican route and said, well, these tax cuts will pay for themselves because it'll put money in people's pockets, and they'll be able to put more money into the economy. I'm like, wait a minute. So you tell me that that's true then, but it's not true now. Man, they should have just voted her out when she died. I think she died in 2012.
When are they going to vote her out? Is she going to die in office?
She did.
In all seriousness, I wonder if they are ever going to
In
vote
all
her out.
seriousness, she did. She died in 2007.
Yeah, do you think Ruth Bader Ginsburg is already dead?
Oh, that bitch is dead. Yeah.
Do you think his hair has gotten paler?
Yeah, he doesn't dye it anymore.
Oh, he dyed it?
Yeah, it's not blonde anymore.
So it's not that the job is aging his hair?
No, he doesn't dye his hair blonde anymore, and he doesn't go to the tanning bed as much, so he's not as orange as he used to be.
Well, that picture looks pretty orange.
Yeah, he's not nearly as orange as he used to be.
Okay.
And he doesn't dye his hair anymore, so
Well, he doesn't have
that's his
time for
natural
that
gray.
shit.
He's
Or he's
debonair.
social distancing.
No.
No?
This was before COVID.
From Limbaugh.
Because he listens to people, and it does bother him. He's a vain man.
Oh.
So he's been becoming less orange and less fake with his hair color.
Okay.
So that people can't dog him and say, oh, it's a toupee. It can't be a toupee if it's naturally gray.
Okay.
And it can't be if he's not orange, he can still be Orange Man bad, but he's like off orange now.
Okay, so Limbaugh says, time for Trump to smoke Joe out of his basement. Except the Democrats aren't going to let that happen.
Joe's not in a basement. He's in an assisted living facility. They only let him out in the morning because he's doing sundowning. Because he loses his fucking mind as the day goes on.
Yeah, well, anyway.
But Limbaugh, I can't believe he's still out there.
I really hope that there can
Rush
be...
or David?
I think David is the one that writes for Daily Wire sometimes.
Rush is Rush doing okay with his treatments?
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about it.
I liked Rush Limbaugh. It's sad to hear he got sick.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that was like truly stuck to his guns on like conservatism and stuff like that. Unlike Hannity, who turned on me. You know, talked a good game, and then Trump showed up, and Trump was the worst candidate. Turns out it was the best candidate at the time, or eventually. And much like Obama was the boiling water you threw the frogs in. Instead of just gradually, well, you see, you put frogs in the water and you just gradually turn up the water until they boil. They don't understand the trouble they're in until they're dead.
Okay.
But if you throw a frog into boiling water, they instantly know there's a fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, McCain and Obama were pretty much the same person as far as policy and stuff. Not very good Republicans, not very good conservatives, none of that.
Well, Obama was not Republican or conservative.
McCain was a rhino, and Obama was a Marxist. Obama was basically the boiling pot, as opposed to McCain, who was the gradually warming pot.
Okay.
So now, cut to this last election. We had 17 candidates in the primary, and all of them were better. Well, at least 4 of them were better than Trump. But I think even if we had gotten Cruz in, it would have been the same as with Obama or with Trump. But if we got Rubio in, it would have been a slow burn, a slow boil. It would have been quieter and all that stuff, but there would have been a lot of progress made in the wrong areas. So Trump was the boiling water. Everybody was frogs. Everybody got thrown in the water.
But in this case, it all turned out well, pretty much.
As it turns out, yeah, because it woke up more people. It woke up more people, especially to this whole Democrat thing where people are like, well, why can't we get more COVID relief, bruh? And they're like, well, we don't want to pass this Democrat plan because it's got specific wording that says that they want to do away with the voter signature authentication.
Authentication.
That's the word. And voter ID laws. We want to put a ban on voter ID laws in states that already have voter ID laws, and voter signature authentication in states to have that right before the election, all in the name of COVID relief. That makes no sense to me at all, unless you're trying to cheat. It's because we don't want the voters to be disenfranchised. You know what's going to disenfranchise voters? Not letting them go to the voting booth and vote. But proceed.
Well, speaking of Biden, do you think that there's any chance that there will be at least one debate?
I seriously doubt it. Because Biden is like, I want a debate. I want a debate. But all the media and all that, and everybody else is already saying, well, that's just not right, because why would you let him debate, blah, blah, blah. They've got every excuse under the sun for why he shouldn't debate.
Yeah, I know.
And so they've already said it, and they've already planted the seed, so
and
that
yet,
people are going to not expect debates.
And yet,
because
And yet, if the man can't
They're gonna
debate,
twist
how
it.
the fuck is he going to be president?
They're gonna twist it to where it's there's no debate because either health concerns for COVID, or there's no debate because
we don't have virtual
Trump
interview
is not
type
a
of
person that you want to
capabilities.
legitimize by giving a debate to. Because they don't accept that Trump is the president, etc. That sort of thing.
One of my Daily Wires must have gone into spam because it's missing. But we have Election Wire. The debate about the debates, speaking of, kicked into high gear this week, with Democrats urging Joe Biden to skip the 3 scheduled face-to-face presidential debates and President Trump pushing for the first face-off to be moved up. Yeah, let's do that before he can fully back out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. I would like to see the debate, because I would like to see Joe Biden explain why all black people look alike to him and think alike to him. What exactly he means when he says poor kids are just as smart and talented as white kids. Oh yeah, let's get him talking about 7-Elevens. Because only Indians run 7-Elevens.
Did he say that?
Yep.
Oh. Thank you. Come again.
You're so bad at that.
What if I
Get
did
better
it?
at your racism.
If I did it really well, wouldn't that make me more racist?
It said get better at your racism.
Yeah.
But and then there's the other one. I want to see him explain his racism in the light of his belief that Republicans want to put black people back in chains. When he's part of the party that put black people in chains.
Well, he said that last election. This is a whole new election, so nothing he said in the past is going to count.
No, the whole all black people think alike thing, or there's no diversity.
No, I know
in black people.
this election.
No, that one's really bad because he did it twice in the same day. And then he tweeted, "Oh, I did not mean to imply that I thought that the black people was a monolith."
Yeah, but then that was after he had done the whole "if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black" thing.
Yeah, I love that cartoon.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's great. But yeah, if you don't vote for me, if you can vote for me, Donald Trump, you ain't black. Really? Oh, and then the reporter is like, "No, I haven't taken a cognitive test. That'd be like if you got drug tested for cocaine before you had to come on to work. Are you a junkie?" He says to the black anchor.
I haven't actually watched that. I just know that what he did, that he said that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Biden had more problems saying what he meant to say, irking the black community again. He has problems saying what he means to say. That's a great way to put that. It's very gracious, actually. Meanwhile, Biden is set to announce
he's just telling the truth because he's so lost in his dementia-addled mind that he doesn't remember not to say the truth.
Meanwhile, Biden is set to announce his running mate next week. I thought this was supposed to be this past week, and it didn't happen.
His running mate...
next week, and the polls are beginning to tighten, with Trump finally moving up.
Bet money it's going to be Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are betting money that it's going to be Kamala Harris. 1. Top Democrats say Biden should skip the debates. Rumors have been swirling for weeks inside the Beltway that Biden might try to find a way to bail out of the 3 presidential debates that begin on September 29th. Oh, it's such a long wait. It should be moved up.
But true facts. November 1st, or no, probably, let's go with October 25th. Him and Kamala Harris are going to be having an event. And then Biden's going to be assassinated.
Oh.
And Hillary will swoop in to fill in. Or
Kamala Harris wouldn't move up?
Kamala Harris would move up and she would get like Cory Booker or somebody as her running mate.
And then she wouldn't get
Michelle
voted
Obama.
into the presidency because the Democrats already spoke and they didn't want Kamala Harris.
But you don't understand.
She's a black woman, I know. Well, maybe she'll have the benefit of this past summer and all the racial injustice stuff.
Except for all these rioting and violence is only benefiting Trump.
Yeah. Joe Lockhart, a former press secretary for Bill Clinton, was among the first to say that Biden shouldn't show up. Whatever you do, don't debate Trump, the CNN contributor wrote in an op-ed for the liberal cable news site.
Mauled.
Trump has made more than 20,000 misleading or false statements, according to the Washington Post. Oh, that's his reasoning? It's a fool's errand to enter the ring with someone who can't follow the rules or the truth. Oh, my goodness.
Yes. But also, I don't remember who it was. They're a liberal rag. But even they came out and said, Trump is the most honest president in history.
Huh.
Because
and
he only lies about
publish,
dumb little shit.
They can still publish opinions like
vain
this.
Shit.
Biden will undoubtedly take heat.
The lies they're talking about there, like the 20,000 lies or whatever, those are
just things that they nitpicked.
Like the whole, Joe Biden.
They super nitpicked.
Joe Biden wants to defund the police. No, he doesn't. And then you look at Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's like, yes, I would like to redirect funds from the police departments to other programs, which is the fucking definition of defund the police. So their fact checks are stupid because it's not that many lies. Just saying.
Biden will undoubtedly take heat from Republicans and the media for skipping the debates, but it's worth the risk as trying to debate someone incapable of telling the truth is an impossible contest to win.
Yeah, I don't like this guy. Move on.
Wait.
He's a tool.
Someone incapable of telling the truth is an impossible contest to win. Because you can't just, shell out proof that you're telling the truth and they're not.
Yeah.
Then Zach Petkenes, a former Hillary Clinton senior advisor
from CNN, was on earlier. Yeah.
A former Hillary Clinton senior advisor wrote on Twitter last week that Biden can skip the debates because President Trump is not a legitimate candidate. What?
Because they don't recognize him as the president.
That he ever won the presidency was so stupid. And New York Times columnist Thomas Friedman said last month that Biden should debate Trump only if the president releases his tax returns and agrees to a real-time fact check by an independent group during the debates.
Independent group?
Oh, that would only be fact-checking Trump, probably, not Biden.
Yeah. You can't fact check Biden because he can't form a coherent sentence.
While Biden, hunkered down in his basement in Wilmington, Delaware, hasn't personally declared that he'll appear, his wife Jill this week was asked on Fox News if he will. Oh yes, he will. I think there's 3 debates they've decided on, so yes, he'll be there, she said.
Biden's married?
Yeah, remember when he got his wife and his sister confused?
His wife and his sister?
They were on stage, he was on stage with his wife on one side of him and his sister on the other side, and he, forgot who was on which side of him, and then he said something about how they switched on him. But they actually hadn't. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
That was funny. 2. Trump tries to get commission to move up first debate. Trump this week called for the first presidential debate to be moved up because it's scheduled for just 35 days before the election, meaning many Americans will cast ballots before the face-to-face contests between the two candidates even begin. Quote, "The one problem I have, the debate's very late. It's at the end of September, and a lot of ballots will already be cast by that time," Trump said in a Fox and Friends interview. "Why are they putting the first debate so late? The first debate should be at least before the first ballots go out, and they have it a month later, almost a month later. It's ridiculous." The key swing state of Michigan, for example, allows residents to submit ballots 45 days before the election. That's a long time. Virginians can also vote in person at their local registrar's office at that time, and in Minnesota, another swing state, early voting begins September 18th. Damn. Trump also addressed the number of debates, of which there are others scheduled on October 15th and 22nd. "I wouldn't mind more," Trump said, but added, "What's more important to me is the first debate be moved up so that when people are putting in their first ballot, they're going to know." Honestly, I think people know.
Before any ballots go out,
But yeah, that's
all the debates need to be done.
true. 3. The Commission on Presidential Debate Rules. The commission that oversees the debates this week rejected a request from the Trump campaign to either add another debate or to move up the first contest. Well, boo. The commission wrote to Trump's private attorney Rudy Giuliani that the existing schedule of 3 debates between the president and presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden is set, but the body might consider adding a 4th if both sides agree. Wait, but it said in the first paragraph that they rejected a request to either add another debate or move up the first contest, but in the second paragraph it said that if Joe Biden agrees, then they could add a 4th.
Assassinated the first debate.
Quote, if the candidates were to agree that they wish to add to that schedule, the commission would consider that request, but remains committed to the schedule of debates it has planned as reflected in the attached release, the commission wrote in a letter obtained by the Associated Press. But the commission seems to have taken issue with the campaign's suggestion that as many as 8 million American voters may start early voting before the first presidential debate is held on September 29th. Oh, really? Why would you take issue with that? There is a difference between ballots having been issued by a state and those ballots having been cast by voters who are under no compulsion to return their ballots before the debates. In 2016, when the debate schedule was similar, only 0.0069% of the electorate had voted at the time of the first debate. That's still some people, though, said the debate commission in its own letter responding to the Trump campaign. So those tiny bit of people don't count.
What I think is that if you're in Congress and you can't cast a ballot unless you're present,
You said urine.
Stupid.
I know.
If you're in ballot, you're in Congress and you can't cast a ballot unless you're present, then you shouldn't get to cast a ballot. Period. If you cannot be present at the ballot box.
So you're saying even the absentee ballots that get requested?
Ballot would be different. Like
Okay.
if I'm a active duty Marine
Okay.
and I'm deployed, I can cast an absentee ballot. But if I am in the town that I vote in, and in the district that I vote in, I need to be at the ballot box or...
With ID.
Yes.
You might like Verdict with Ted Cruz. Latest episode. Bad
I love
Hombres. Bad Hombres featuring DHS Secretary Chad Wolf. I watched that. Acting Secretary of Homeland
Good
Security Chad Wolf joined Senator Ted Cruz and Michael Knowles to share inside information about the federal government's nationwide crackdown on lawless rioters, discuss the progress of President Trump's 30-foot-tall border wall, and explain the very real dangers of the way Nancy Pelosi and the left demonize the police. Plus, Senator Cruz's new name is Bob. I don't remember that part.
Wow.
Oh, wait, I vaguely remember that. Listen on Apple Podcasts. I don't remember why. Oh, because he told a story about how he was hanging out with Border Patrol this one time, and he went out on like a raid with them, and there was this especially big, scary-looking guy, and all the Border Patrol agents were like, Senator, come over here, come and check this out, Senator, like calling him Senator and stuff, and he's like, hey, just call me Bob.
Bob. Don't call me Senator. But yeah, that's a good move.
4. Biden puts his foot in his mouth again.
Shocker.
Biden's had some difficulty in the past saying what he means, and he committed yet another racial gaffe this week on par with his "you ain't black" and his "poor kids are just as bright and talented as white kids" comments in the past. Speaking with NPR's Lulu Garcia-Navarro in an interview that aired at the convention of the National Association of Black Journalists and National Association of Hispanic Journalists, Biden was pressed on whether he would re-engage with Cuba as president. For some reason, Biden used the moment to compare Hispanics with Black Americans on the subject of diversity. Yes, Biden said, and by the way, what you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things. After the clip went viral, Trump responded saying that Biden's comments insulted the American black community. Joe Biden this morning totally disparaged and insulted the black community, the president said on the South Lawn. What he said is incredible. I don't know what's going on with him, but it was a very insulting statement he made. It was a great insult to the black community. 5. The 2020 Veep Stakes. Biden was set to announce his running mate this week. Ah, that's what I thought. But the campaign is still busy floating trial balloons. What does that mean? So Biden pushed back his announcement until next week. California Senator Kamala Harris remains the frontrunner to become Biden's running mate, with former Obama advisor Susan Rice in second. California Representative Karen Bass, who skyrocketed up the charts, I haven't heard about that. Who's she? Has fallen back to earth. Oh, okay. Here are the latest odds set by bookies.com based on a $100 bet, with last week's odds in parentheses. So, in order, we have Senator Kamala Harris, Susan Rice, Val Demings, Tammy Duckworth, Karen Bass, Michelle Obama still, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Gretchen Whitmer, Keisha Lance Bottoms, Michelle Lujan Grisham, I have no idea how to say her middle name, and Stacey Abrams. Why is she even still, on the list?
Because she's black and a female.
Yeah. 6.
You notice that all of them are female.
Oh, yeah, because he said he was going to pick a female. Mm-hmm. No man has a chance. Would be funny if he picked a man.
That's sexist as shit.
6. By the numbers. Trump versus Biden.
You need to pick a trans woman.
There are fewer than 90... Caitlyn Jenner. No, but she's a Republican. There are fewer than 90 days until the election, and the polls are starting to tighten. Until recently, all the polls put Biden atop Trump, some by double digits. But the Real Clear Politics average of national polls now shows Biden currently leading Trump by 6.4%, down from a lead of more than 9% a few weeks ago. Trump currently trails in at least 6 of the battleground states he won in 2016. Silent majority, though. And over the last month, Biden's lead in those states has widened. But now some of them are starting to close up again, with Trump picking up a few points in several states. Here's the breakdown according to Real Clear Politics. What?
Did you add the silent majority thing?
I did, yes.
Okay. Because my beef is that all of the polls were bad in 2016. Mm-hmm. They haven't changed anything. Mm-hmm. They were way off.
Because they don't know how to reach certain whole blocks of the voting population, right?
So if he's gaining ground and is close in national polls that we know are completely off, then he must be doing way better than people think.
And I'm like the silent majority thing. Also, we have proof of that in those Jonathan Isaac jersey sales that we were talking about, and how Goya beans started selling really, really well when people were calling for them to be boycotted. So the silent majority is out there. And
you need Reebok to come out and be like, or not Reebok,
Nike,
Carhartt, some American brand like Levi Strauss. Come out and be like, we support Trump, and then watch their sales just go boom.
While their social media presence gets completely throttled. Here's the breakdown according to Real Clear Politics. Arizona is for Biden. Florida is for Biden. Michigan's for Biden. North Carolina's for Biden.
Kicker speakers should come out with a special...
What's important is the numbers. I wasn't reading the numbers. How much they're for Biden when how much Trump won them by in 2016. I don't want to read all those numbers.
Yeah.
7, meme of the week. When Joe goes full Michael Scott. It's his interview with that dude. If I click on it, well, it's going to take me to it.
Have you taken a cognitive...
No, I haven't taken the test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh?
Do you think that smoking drugs is cool? Do you think that doing alcohol is cool?
So the question was, has he taken a cognitive test after his team, claimed that he was being tested all the time recently?
He actually said, I take tests all the time.
Okay, and now he's saying...
Then they were like...
How ridiculous that is.
If you take tests all the time, none of these people were worried about your cognitive thinking, like, oh no, I never took tests. Oh, fuck that noise.
All right, that's the end of the election
But
wire
kicker
email.
speakers. They come out with a new subwoofer called the Trump Bunk.
What?
Kicker speakers. Kicker brand speakers.
Oh, this is an idea of yours?
Yeah, they need to come
Okay.
out with a new subwoofer called the Trump Bunk.
Okay.
And watch those shit sell.